We've already spent $2.5 million on the Legasea Aquarium and Reptarium, and we're not even halfway there. And the reason I'm telling this is I want to take you guys along on this entire journey, what it's like to build a project like the Legasea Aquarium. And the first step was to actually acquire the building. But hey, it wasn't an aquarium, it was actually a thrift store at the time. This was definitely a bummer. Dad! Lori, I'm having second thoughts. Crap, that was the one wall I was hoping they'd keep. Watch out! So the first thing we had to do was demo the entire front of the building. We're using this piece of heavy equipment to tear off the front of that building. That's right, I'm turning a multi-million-dollar building into a pile of rubble. First, we're gonna separate the viscule seal from the actual brick. Then we're gonna rip the damn building down. But the building actually stopped here. This is where the wall was. And we wanted to add this facade, so we had to rip out this wall, which ended up costing us over $100,000. Of course, because the building wasn't actually here, we had to lay down this slab cement to extend the building before we could start building out the front. Maybe you guys don't see the end vision, you know, I live it, you know, I've been thinking about this for months. I already see the glass in there, the pillars in there, the sign, the pond. So after all, where they're pouring cement right now is gonna be the gift shop and some filtration and the interest into the Reptarium. I see it all just not as a cement slab. I see it as a finished product. Cement work isn't cheap, and this pad right here cost us 40 grand. But we had to support the front of the building, so we had to put these white beams in, which is really the most exciting part of the build, because when you start to see this, it was like, oh my gosh, we're actually adding on to the building, which is really cool. So you can certainly start to see the vision of what this building is gonna look like. But you're seeing how like tall and impressive. The steel and steel workers are not cheap. This structure here was $65,000. The next step was framing out the facade itself, putting it up and actually seeing what the structure looks like. And that's when I was talking about crews working together, right? The pond guys have to work with the mason guys, they have to work with the builders, they have to work with the framers so that everything, and speaking of framing, this is pretty impressive here. These are the trusses going in right here. And you know, until you actually see them, you don't really realize. Like, I'll be honest with you, I didn't understand that there was gonna be such an overhang. And even when we were at Animal Con, we ended up getting the windows installed. I was bummed that I wasn't here to see it, but when I came back, it was a great surprise. The windows itself were $70,000. Not to mention my friends over at Aquascape, Greg, Ed, the entire team, ended up building this amazing pond at the front of the building.
We will have water running by the end of the day today.
Everybody goes flies, 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 and then the details take all the time.
Now this would have cost us $125,000, but they were so gracious to actually donate the time and all the materials to this. So this was an actual freebie, which did save us a ton of money, and I absolutely love it. You can see the steel guys are still working on the facade, but it's almost done. And the entire facade was so important for traffic to come through the doors, because we really wanted to make an incredible statement. But this at front of the building was $750,000 to complete. Sorry, I know that you're not as stressed as I am, but I'm definitely a little stressed about the finances across the street. I mean, it's a lot.
Are you just realizing that?
Well, no, I think what it is now that things are happening where there's 4 or 5 crews at a time and bills are coming in super quick. Yeah, I kind of knew the money was going, but to have it going so quick now is freaking me out.
Oh, you crack me up, seriously. It's not surprising to me. Like, we already knew what was going on, apparently. You not as much as me. It's gonna be okay.
It's gonna be okay.
It's scary as hell, but we're on track. We need it to happen because everything has to happen so we can get open. And that means money's gotta fly.
We'll be okay then.
We'll be okay.
Okay. And why was it so important to spend $750,000, $750,000 on the front of this building? You want that curb appeal. There's a road right behind us called Van Dyke that has 100,000 cars a day driving by. I wanted to make sure that they all knew that there was some amazing aquarium that they wanted to come see. So it's really important to make sure it looked fancy because, hey, listen, I love the Reptarium and it's absolutely incredible. But for cars that are driving by that don't know it's a reptile zoo, they may just think it's a pet shop and they're not going to stop in. This was important to get traffic through the doors, and it's all about getting people through the doors and turning them into animal lovers. Now, obviously, I didn't have $5 million+ to start this project, and originally we were going to get a loan from the bank, which ended up falling through because of my health. You guys know it, and you guys helped out a tremendous amount. A lot of people have pitched in. Obviously, we've spent our entire life savings on this, and fortunately, to get to the end of this project, we did end up finding a bank that was willing to loan us enough money to get to the end of it. Without that, we would have never been able to do this, and the reason reason that I'm doing all these videos for you guys is to inspire you to continue to follow your dreams. This is all about the dreams. I know a lot of people think it's crazy, especially in my situation, to go in debt and to spend all our money and put my family into this situation. No matter what your situation in life is, you should continue to follow your dreams. You know, giving up on your dreams, then you're giving up on life, and that just isn't an option at all. Then we had to start working on the inside. The first thing was to actually cut the foundations, just like they're cutting here, but this is actually for the bathroom. But we actually cut for the tanks, because the tanks are so heavy, if we were just to put them on the cement, it would crack the cement, and then the tanks could potentially leak. So we did all the large enclosures, and we still have a couple more to do, but just the ones that we just did, this tank, the Stingray tank, the Predator tank, just the cement and foundation work for those tanks alone were $47,000. I can't tell you how emotional it is to see the first cement actually being broken up, where the foundations are going to go, where these enclosures are. What they're working on right now is the Stingray tank. You get the idea how big this Stingray tank is going to be. It's going to be 5 foot deep in all this area where you can actually get in and snorkel around with stingrays, play with cow nose rays. It's going to be absolutely incredible. We are definitely making progress now. But look at how cool it ends up looking. Just after a few days of work, this is the Stingray tank. Again, the acrylic ends up going here. Theming goes in it. It's going to look really cool. The form is basically almost like a jello mold. It's an apparatus that is building a form that you can actually pour the cement into, so that when you take the forms off, the shape of the cement is actually the shape of those forms, and then you can build around it with theming. Without the forms, the cement would just go everywhere, and if the forms aren't put together right, cement is going to be shooting out. So the forms are an extremely important part of this process. Good news, guys, the truck literally just showed up. The forms are here. They're about to unload. We're about to get it going. And the cement truck just arrived. What basically is going to happen is the cement truck fills this pump truck that actually pumps through the pipe so that we can actually fill the forms. And then they use this little vibrating stick to make sure that there's no air pockets in it. And tomorrow, with any luck, we'll be able to remove the forms and actually see the size and actually viewing windows of these tanks, which is absolutely incredible. This day is the day I've been dreaming of for the last 6 to 8 months. First cement going into the aquarium. How freaking epic is that? These guys are a specialty exhibit building team, and it's not cheap to do this. These big tanks alone are over $350,000, but it's going to be so amazing, and we've got to continue to push to where this place is crazy cool. But you can see they still have work to do. This is actually the koi pond here. We've got an archer fish pond. We've got some touch tanks they're working on. We actually pour cement forms for these guys here in the next 2 days, so they have to get these all ready. That's another load of cement that costs us even more money. And I have a meeting with my COO Chuck that's in town to talk about budget.
All right, so next up we've got used aquariums. Right now we've got them budgeted for about $303,000.
How many, do you know how many that is? Like how many, we've got the bridge tank. Is that the slant tank in there, or?
Slant tank's in there, the bridge tank.
The 8-foot cylinder.
Yep, the bull nose.
Oh, the
so I think total it's right around 8 or 9.
8 or 9, but how much again?
$330,000.
That's a lot of money for it. But on the flip side, that's $330,000. It's probably about $700,000 worth of tanks.
At least.
At least, yeah, 700. So at least we saved a ton of money by doing that. But okay. You guys remember that we bought these tanks right here that are under here that are being protected from the foam on the ceiling, and we bought a bunch of used tanks. There's some down in Texas. There's some in Indiana. There's some at Bassie's place that are sitting waiting to come here already. Now we actually are off to go look at these giant tanks. And like I mentioned, we have some giant enclosures that we're looking at here. Take a look at how beautiful this one is. Yes, on the new exhibit. And then look at this beast here. Definitely looking at this one. And then this is what they call a bridge tank. So it would actually sit up top. So you would have an aquarium on this side, bridge over your head, and an aquarium on that side. Wow, it seems like things are actually moving along. And that's not even including the tanks that we had built, which were another $300,000 that are brand new that are coming as well. All these tanks should be on site here, hopefully within the next 4 or 5 weeks. And that's not to mention the shark tank. This circle that you see right here, 25-foot diameter. We wanted this to be one of the big focal points of the place, so we wanted to have it 100% acrylic, no form, no cement. It ended up standing 8 foot tall, actually 6 foot of acrylic, 25 foot long, 25,000 plus gallons for black tip reef shark, bonnet head shark. It's going to be absolutely amazing, but unfortunately, it's even more expensive to do all acrylic like this, because we're talking about giant acrylic. Actually, I have to get made in Italy and then shipped over here. It's coming in about 3 to 4 weeks to start getting installed world. It's going to be so incredible. That tank was super expensive. $350,000 just for this tank alone. Then, of course, we haven't even started to talk about the reptile enclosures. I mean, obviously, I'm a reptile guy, so it's super important. And we've designed every single enclosure for the reptile part over here. You know, the Reptarium basically is moving across the street to the Legasea Aquarium. The Reptarium will still stay here, like I talked about, for private events. Basically, the majority of the animals moving across the street, replenishing this place with different animals, which is going to be really cool. The fact is that it's a lot of money to build these enclosures. We're talking about $450,000 for the reptile enclosures coming from Universal Rock. They are going to be absolutely spectacular. Now, again, I don't want to talk like I'm bragging here, guys, because it's not about bragging. It's about giving you guys the ability to understand what I'm going through and how the financial stress of this is actually incredible. But, you know, we knew what we were getting into, and it's going to be worth it on the end because, again, this is a lifelong dream that I want to do. The Legasea Aquarium is going to be absolutely amazing, and unfortunately, you have to spend a lot of money to make your dreams come true if you want to do it right. We could have done it a lot cheaper, but it wouldn't really be the place that I was super proud of. So again, I'm not bragging. As a matter of fact, you might look at me and think I'm absolutely crazy, but again, I want to bring you guys on the journey from the time that we started all the way till opening day. So we've went over kind of the sexy stuff, the cool front facade, the tanks, the exhibits, you know, the reptile cages. All that stuff is sexy and it's cool, right? But to actually build a place like that, it's the little details that you don't even notice when you go to. Things like the plumbing over here, or the HVAC that these guys are working on over here, and all of the electrical work. The floors alone are $100,000 to do them the way we want to do them. But those things all add up to big money, but it's so worth it because, again, that's important. The HVAC, the heating and cooling, is paramount. I mean, it has to be exactly the right temperature in order to keep fish alive and to keep reptiles alive, so you have to spend it. The plumbing is obviously important. You don't want that to back up. Because we're backflowing ponds and all kinds of different stuff. Every piece is so much, but it adds up to hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars that you will never even notice when you come to visit the Legasea. Ready?
Oh my God. Wait, hold on. Bow.
Wow, that is freaking dope, man. That is super cool. I helped build the Legasea Aquarium.
Super awesome.
That is dope. And I know you guys are always talking about how you can help me. Now, let me start by saying that I am not begging for money. And if you don't have the ability to do something, don't do it. If you want to, we did another fundraising thing that I think you guys might like. And that's these shirts right here. I helped build the Legasea Aquarium. And then you got the first time you got the Legasea Aquarium and Reptarium logo on a shirt, which is pretty cool. So the deal is, guys, we're hoping to just raise a little bit more funds, and we're going to make this super limited. There's going to be 150 of these shirts available. You get the shirt, you're going to get a signed photo by everyone that's in the vlog. You're going to have a picture of everyone in the vlog. They're going to be numbered 1 through 150. 150 is it. We are not selling anything more. And you're going to get free admittance into the Legasea Aquarium once it actually opens up. That package right there, I'm going to put a link in the description. It's $150. There's only 150 of these available. Once they're sold out forever. Again, not begging for money, but every bit helps, and I appreciate your support. You guys are so critical to getting this project done, and you've done so much for me, and I cannot thank you enough. I can't wait to be greeting each of you at the door when Legasea opens. Of course, we've got our mammals. We had to buy a whole bunch of new animals. I mean, you know, hey, listen, the fish are going to be super expensive, but of course we had to budget for things like Sid the porcupine here. He's doing good. He's doing good. You're doing some target training.
Yep.
She's got some target. She is so smart. It's absolutely incredible. I love this animal to death. And obviously, you guys know this isn't the only mammal we bought. And of course, we got Javi the capybara. I tell you what, capybaras are so freaking cool. And Javi is getting so big. I mean, look at this guy. He is absolutely getting huge, but he loves people, and he is one of the coolest animals I've ever owned in my entire life. And then there's this little guy right here. He is so amazing. Again, you just walk into his enclosure, and he just climbs right up on top. He loves people so much. What are you doing, Stitch? You are so amazing. I love you. This is a cool animal. So whenever I say, like, this is the favorite animal, like I did with Javi, the truth is every animal I have, whether it's reptile, mammal, and of course the fish that we'll be doing are amazing, but we had to spend quite a bit of money on the mammals because we wanted captive bred, we wanted babies, we wanted to raise them up, we wanted to make them amazing so that you guys could experience this experience when we're over at the Legasea. And oh my gosh, he's licking my neck. It is so cool. But you know, these guys aren't cheap. Little binturongs alone are about $25,000 for a baby captive bred one. But boy, is it worth every penny. Look at how cute he is. And the cost of building this place, like I'd mentioned, is over $5 million, and that doesn't even include all of the extra employees and all the other stuff that we have to do. We're going to have to probably hire 15 new people. As a matter of fact, here pretty soon, I'm going to introduce you to our lead aquarist that we actually brought on already that is starting to work. Lee is absolutely incredible and going to be a big part of the future. Not to mention, you guys are going to see Steve Bashy here a lot. I mean, there's going to be a lot of new faces that you're going to see. There's no doubt about that, but there's a lot of expense to it. But it's a big project, the biggest project I've ever done in my entire life. I got to tell you guys, it's getting me out of bed every day. It's It's making me motivated. It's making me want to come to work every single day, no matter how I feel. I am excited to be here every day. So there it is, guys. We've spent $2.5 million so far, and we're really not even halfway there. So there's going to be a ton more build projects. Then we're going to have a ton of animals going in. It's going to be super exciting. Is it worth it? Absolutely. Am I following my dreams? Absolutely. And I want you guys to as well. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, there's a playlist that you can watch all kinds of videos. You can also hit that subscription button. It would mean a lot to me. Also, hit that like button while you're down there. Have a wonderful day, Reptile Army. Remember, it's cold. I'm freezing my